On this episode of Seriously, we will find out if my Zoom Sprint Vision is performance enhancing, why I had to change chiropractors, and the joys of reporting bad road conditions. Seriously. For anyone who's new to the Davis Bike Club race ride on Saturday mornings that starts at Ken's Bike and Ski at 8 a.m., this is the route that we take for the first sprint to 505. That's the 505 freeway and the bridge overcrossing Wolfskill Road. This year we had one of our members that had a crash coming up here. We're currently on Sparling Road, and we're going to be coming up to Pedrick Road. And when you turn right, going up onto Pedrick Road, the road is chewed up cheese grater looking stuff, and there's a couple potholes that are pretty deep and right in the area where we turn. This has been an area that I've been uncomfortable riding in for quite some time on this ride. I did try to contact the Solano County Public Works Department, and they were very friendly. They answered the phone quickly, and they called me back the next day and let me know that this actually was the city of Dixon's jurisdiction. I've called them and left them a voicemail, but I have not had a return call. I guess I'll try again next week, but I really hope someone addresses this. I mean, there's a lot of tomato trucks in this area, a lot of industrial 18-wheeler traffic that goes on these roads, and they are in desperate need of repair. So hopefully someone is taking a look, because this cheese grater stuff is dangerous, and when you got 40, 50, 60 bikes going through here at one time, it's really hazardous. So I hope someone takes care of that. So here we are on the long straightaway on Seavers Road. My instructions for today from my coach were blank, meaning I can do what I want, which was really nice because I have been having some issues with my low back and my shoulder just not feeling well. I'd been seeing a chiropractor for a while, and there was definitely some gains and some help with that. Something happened though midsummer when I started picking up intensity, and I started having more issues and pain, and I was trying to go easy and work through it, but also trying to prepare for races. You increase the intensity, and so I had to switch chiropractors to David Gunther. And I got to say, man, after my first meeting, it was a whole new world. I mean, it didn't fix it all in one day, and I'm still recovering. I think about a month later, but I'm on a better path. And part of the problem was my muscles had locked up, and I have dysfunction in my left hip. I have dysfunction in my top left back, and he diagnosed me with some pretty tight hips. So we're going to be working on those things. But in order to get my back to release, he used this deep muscle stimulator that is pretty crazy looking, and it when he used it on my shoulder, it vibrated my nose so much it itched, but you could really feel it releasing the knotted muscles, and he was able to adjust my back straight. And I don't know if you've ever had a chiropractor adjust you and it just feels right, but you can tell when it's right, and you can instantly feel that. The next day on the bike there was some fatigue just riding easy, but I actually had to stop at about 30 minutes just to take a quick break, but it's been steadily improving ever since. He also used this on my hip, and has been working on getting my hip to be in the right position. Apparently it's not in the right position in the socket, and this was causing a lack of function, and it's a really weird feeling when he was pulling on my hip after he'd used this deep muscle stimulator on it and getting it back into position. And when I was walking, I could feel like it felt like it actually felt correct, but it also felt like I didn't have to step as far. It's just I don't know how much it actually changed in distance, but this is a path that I think is very important. I think part of this is a lack of certain things that I should be doing for just regular maintenance with a roller. I had not been doing this enough on my back, and I certainly hadn't been working out some of the tightness in my legs and in my IT band that he has recently used a ultrasonic system on that's really helping it release. So I guess it's just more maintenance, for as much time as you have to put in on the bike. There's going to be more time for me now off the bike, and that's going to include doing Pilates. It's going to include specifically targeting pelvic stability, core strength, some gym work as well for regular strength. But on top of all that, now I've got to start doing a routine with this roller to help maintain proper function in my body. So what you do on the bike is important, but I'm finding out more and more that I'm paying the price for not doing some of the stuff off the bike. So it's just an extra bit of dedication that I'm going to have to put in. Here we are picking up the pace on Seavers a bit, and we always seem to do this the last maybe mile and a half or so. And depending on who's in the group and what's happening, it can dictate how hard this is and how long it lasts. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, Dave wasn't here today, so the pace was going to be dictated more by other people, and there was no Dave that was going to be attacking, and so it's probably just going to be a steady, hard pull through these rotations. And so this kind of sprint, or this portion of the ride before the sprint, is really good at softening some people up. I know before, I've been doing coaching for a couple of years, some of this stuff, and I'd be going through it and thinking, how am I going to have anything left for the finish? But as I was telling the development team, which the Davis Bike Club race team officially started a development team for their Cat 3 through 5s that does include coaching. I was telling them and showing a video from a couple of years ago to recently, and the difference it's made, and how I can suffer through this a little better and have a little more at the end. So that certainly helped this year with some of the racing I did. But now let's move ahead to the right, left, right, and left again corners for Wolfskill Road leading up to the final sprint. Sometimes I do things and I just don't even know why and question myself later, but as a sprinter, I really only care about the last 10-15 seconds, and here I am off the front with Chris, who is a very, very strong rider, and my heart rate is way higher than I'd really like it to be at this point, but here I am, and inevitably, I know that at some point people are going to come around, and if they have more speed than you, you've got to use extra power to get up to their speed and then try to come up with them. And that takes just another extra little bit out of you and your final sprint, which again is just something I shouldn't be doing. And so here I am exactly doing that, putting out extra power. I'm trying to get up to speed and catch up with these guys. I got Dan in front of me. I've got Joe in front of him. And that's a perfect situation. But for some reason, I decided to go ahead and sprint. Maybe my vision zoomed in and I thought I was closer than I was. But I was very, very far away. My heart had already been way up. And so I ended up in a situation where I'm attacking early with a little bit less than I should. And this is absolutely the wrong idea for a sprint. And as you can see, Dan easily comes around me, so congratulations to him, and this was a good ride that I enjoyed, and I'm just happy that my back's feeling a little better. Good job, Dan. Serious.